Al-Shaair will, if this stands, be home for Christmas. And the Texans are one of the Christmas games that are being played against the Ravens. And him not patrolling the middle of the field against Tua, Mahomes, and Lamar will leave a mark. I shall say that. And I'm sure Jaguars fans are like, well, you know what left a mark? Him on our quarterback who was clearly sliding, and
it was obvious.
Even it was obvious that he was sliding, but even if you're thinking he was sliding late, Al-Shaair gave him the business. There's some business that was there was a message being sent. Yep. At least that's the way it looked to us as fans.
Agreed.
And he might say, and he apologized for everything, and he's been hearing it online as well in a way that he shouldn't, is from fans who are getting mean, ugly, nasty, and potentially violent. But it sure looked to me like he was getting the business. 3 games, I think, is a little bit more than I was expecting. 1, if not 2, but 3's a lot.
I would have thought 2 at the most.
And there's an appeals process here. There's the league and the Players Association have agreed on 4 different players who will get this appeals case, and one of them is Derek Brooks, who would know about being a defender who's trying to take out a quarterback. And what might go through Al-Shaair's mind. I don't know if he's going to be the one to receive this. But the league also said it was the way he left the field and what he's done before. And the warnings, I guess, he has received about his style of play before. Nick Caserio, the general manager of the Houston Texans, was speaking about it today, and he fully accepted the league's decision. Wait, I'm being told it's the exact opposite. And he was profane about it. And he's very angry about it. And he came with some receipts about what's happened previously to people who have been in similar situations for suspension. Hit it.
Nobody embodies our program more than Azeez. What he's about, what he's been through. You all know his story. There's not a more selfless individual, more about the team, who's earned the respects, that represents everything that we want this program to be about. I mean, this morning he was at a United Way event. So we're talking about some of the commentary that has been made about his character, about the person that he is, about what his intentions are, from people that, quite frankly, don't know anything about Azeez Al-Shaair, okay? And for the league to make some of the commentary that he made about lack of sportsmanship, lack of coachability, lack of paying attention to the rules, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So I think the big thing from and I talk about a player who's never been suspended, never been ejected. So now we're saying that he's going to be suspended for 3 games. So, look, it is what it is. I think the big thing from our standpoint, and all teams want this, is just some level of consistency. And we've talked to the league, quite frankly, but we don't have a good explanation. D'Amico talked to them yesterday. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure Azeez will go through whatever process he's going to go through, and then we'll deal with it accordingly. But I think what we take umbrage is just the picture that's been painted about Azeez, his intentions, who he is as a person. I mean, quite frankly, it's bullshit. And it's unfair to the individual. It's unfair to the organization. I mean, we love everything about Azeez Al-Shaair, what he means to this team, what he brings to this team. Going back to the first thing I said, the most important thing is the health and safety of our players, and I'd say the health and well-being of Trevor. And hopefully Trevor's going to be okay. But to speak on Azeez's intentionality about what he intended to do, some of the comments that have been made, quite frankly, it's embarrassing.
Question is, what do you do next when this is all done? Dan Patrick had an interesting thought on his show today as I listened to my buddy DP quite a bit coming down for work. He thinks that instead of sliding, maybe you have a quarterback just do a fair catch signal. Like basically stop in the middle of a run and just stop and just wave your hand.
So they're running full speed and then they just stop?
I guess.
I don't see how that could work.
I don't either.
I mean, just something that's more clear than I'm not to be hit.
I don't know how you can make it more clear than I'm sliding and giving myself up.
Because when you're sliding, you're still running. You're still in a position where you're running.
But you watch the rest of the games on Sunday. Many quarterbacks did the exact same thing, and everyone just kind of stopped around them. It just seemed like This guy made a concerted effort.
Yeah, it was the forearm and
I'm
all
going to
that
lay you
stuff.
out. I'm sending a message.
You know,
Can I
please?
real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Not even we, but I know the other week we were talking about how Mahomes runs down the sidelines, and then you're saying like guys are afraid to hit him because they think they'll get flagged and thrown out. Like this guy actually went through with the hit, so
It wasn't just that, too. It was a forearm,
it was
too.
a forearm.
It was the extra. I don't know. I know it's split second. It's
Right,
it's quick,
and
but
it's so tough because it's always on the defender to make the decision.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like how many hits happen? 2,500 hits a game every Sunday, Monday. Kind of surprised that we don't see this more often, and I kind of feel like
It's
this
because
is an outlier.
guys have adjusted to the rules, and they know they're going to get flagged, they're going to get fined, they might get thrown out or suspended for this, and he, for some reason or other, he went through with it.
But I see what Nick was saying, like the stuff that I've read.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the deal. We know a lot of sports. I don't know anything about that man, to be honest with him. And so just to hear him being stood up for like that, I got more of an idea of who he was in that clip than I had
And it's
the entirety of his career. So it's, people get out of pocket sometimes.
And it's great that he's being defended in the same way that it was great to see the Jaguars defend Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Certainly, if you're wondering how the locker room is together or not in this awful season, they're playing hard still for Doug Peterson, and they backed up Trevor to the point where, I think
you should be given a pass.
You're not given a pass. Like, you want to throw a flag for unsportsmanlike conduct on somebody that's defending their quarterback after a nasty hit like that. The thing that just drives me crazy through all of it, obviously there's lots to be driven crazy about, is the Texans didn't lose yards on the play.
They had to come out, so there was like a 10-minute delay.
Right.
They cleared the field. They get Trevor off the field,
Right.
and suddenly it's offsetting penalties. 3rd and 1. Here's Mac Jones try to take over the rest of the drive.
And for me, it's like, clearly this is an ejectionable offense, and everyone else's reactions, are, if they're not ejectionable, then it should be some form of, you get the penalty, but it's superseded by somebody who has to be ejected for what he did. And that's 15 yards against you as well. Like, the yards are important.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be forgotten. Because, I understand that the justice is coming down now, and it is severe, and that's part of the reason why Caserio is probably pissed. He's lost a terrific player for 3 very important games against 3 very difficult-to-defend opponents in Miami, Kansas City, and Baltimore. So I understand all of it. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku Channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.